Damn it, Docs Daily. I got to make that intro song longer so I can get my glasses clean before this starts. Welcome into another episode of Docs Daily. We are here Monday through Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. As always, on Friday, we have Rafael Esparza and Robert Faringo joining us. While we are live during the Santa Clara, Kentucky matchup, we got one day in the bag. We had some madness, as they like to say, around. Before I go get too much into yesterday's action, what we like today, you guys feel free to drop something in the comment, a question about today's games or potential matchups for the weekend. Any questions you have, these two guys are the ones to answer. New customers, free $60 account, docsports.com/free60. Use that on both these guys' premium picks for the weekend. I don't know how else to explain this for you. It's easy peasy. You could split it up, make money, thank me on Monday. That's all you have to do. So, Robert Faringo, we'll start with you. Crazy, anything you were absolutely surprised that happened yesterday that you didn't see coming?
No. Wisconsin was a bit of a surprise, but then when you remember how pathetic the Big Ten is every single year in the tournament, that shouldn't have been a surprise. Maybe High Point played a little better than I was expected. But other than that, no, I mean, you and I talked about this yesterday. I said it wasn't going to be chalky like last year. There's going to be some upsets. I think we're going to revert to some long-term norms in terms of double-digit seeds pulling upsets. And I think we'll see some more this weekend. But I wish Hawaii had been able to hold on for me. Would have been a real nice day there. I don't know why John Calipari had his starters on the court in a 20-point game with 2 minutes left. But
I'll tell you why, because I had them minus 19.5 for plus money, and they only won by 19. That's why. He was trying to help a brother out. But it didn't work.
Well, and North Carolina, a little surprised by North Carolina blowing that lead.
I didn't see that. I didn't see VCU winning that game. I thought that Ohio State game, while we were on during that Ohio State TCU game, I told you I wanted the 10.5. I ended up taking the 9.5 right at the end of the show. And hey, good in-play bet, like you said. It wasn't going to be a blowout.
They weren't going to blow out.
It just wasn't going to be a blowout. So TCU takes care of business. That St. Louis game, Georgia looked bad, but Rafael, anything you were shocked about? Let me guess, Georgia.
Yeah. F you, Billikens. I hate that. I don't know why I played. My twin brother lives in Missouri. Sorry, it's the same thing, Missouri. And I don't know why I tried to. I mean, I hate the Cardinals. Why did I bet against the Billikens? Even though they have the best logo in college sports, the Billikens logo, but yeah. Shocked at how bad Georgia looked, just right from the tip. But one thing that shocked me yesterday was we saw horrible coaching. We did see some good coaching spots, but some bad ones. How do you have 5 guys go 40 minutes? How do you have North Carolina only subbing 1 guy in? Just bad play calling. Wisconsin's second half play calling was awful. I mean, so they deserved to lose that. So we saw some good head coaching stuff, but we also saw a lot of bad head coaching. Hawaii, you just mentioned. Why is Calipari having starters? And I was hoping someone blows his knee out just so I could say, what do you have your guys doing?
Yelling, shoot to 3 every possession they have. Shoot.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, I just got done doing Lexington, Kentucky, ESPN. I do it every Friday. And this is the first time I got so much death hate mail because I said I liked Santa Clara. Big Blue Nation wasn't happy. But if you're a Big Blue Nation fan, Kentucky fan, they're pretty much creme of the creme when it comes to college basketball. You always think about Kentucky. There's always a probably good handful of teams. When you think of college basketball, you think of that brand. I would say Kentucky's probably one of them. If you're Big Blue Nation, you're only 2.5 3-point favorites to Santa Clara, where people think that's a surfing school, not a college basketball school. Then you should be head scratching. Why my Big Blue Nation only this small? I love the Santa Clara Broncos game on this game.
Yeah, I'm involved with today's stuff for sure. Santa Clara, Akron.
Kentucky looks bad. They're not.
Kentucky does look bad. Yeah, they look.
I knew. We talked about this yesterday. They're not a very good team, but I still thought the number was a little bit short. They're not playing well. They don't look good. I will be surprised if they win this game.
Can you be shocked that we could see head coaching openings for North Carolina and Kentucky in the same year?
Well, when was the last time that happened?
They're not going to fire Pope. That's
Ooh.
not.
I don't know about that.
I don't think that's realistic. His team was so good last year. You know, they lost Jalen Lowe. Like,
Ever since they lost him,
built this team around having Jalen Lowe, and then he got hurt early on in the season. The fact that he's gotten this much out of this group, I think, speaks to him. And you know, I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday also about Hubert Davis. Like, I think Hubert Davis is a good coach. I know I'm in the minority here, but he has taken that team to Final Fours. He has been able to recruit transfers. He's still able to recruit at a high level, getting a guy like Caleb Wilson and him getting hurt. Like, that's just bad luck. And then, like, my biggest argument for him to stay would be Seth Trimble. Okay, Seth Trimble was a guy who was nothing. He brought him in as a freshman, sophomore. He didn't play. He turned into a 13-point per game scorer last year, 15-point per game scorer this year. Like, he developed this kid over 4 years. So what do you want? Do you want high-level recruits? He's getting All-Americans. Do you want high-level transfers? He's done that too. Do you want him to be able to develop 4-year players? He did that. Like, what more do you want from the guy, frankly? You know, besides holding on to a 19-point lead.
Banners and number one seed is what you
somebody's got to be, but it's just like this. Like, I'm talking with a lot of my Syracuse friends about who's going to be the next Syracuse coach. Like, somebody's got to be an adult. Just because your fan base is delusional and thinks that they should win the national championship every other year, that doesn't mean that your decision-making matrix is to satisfy the most deluded, delusional people in your base. We got enough of that going on in this country. Like, someone be an adult.
Not it. I'm just saying, not it. I got to say, Scott says, yeah, Santa Clara, backing my buddy Herb Sindek. I like Santa Clara. I'm on Santa Clara. Akron has already begun as well. They're up, or Texas Tech is up on them. I have 29-22 roughly.
Yeah, Akron doesn't look good. Like, they can't make shots. Like,
I was worried. I'm on Akron plus, I think, 7.5.
Well, it's just irritating because they got bombed each of the last 2 years. Each of the last 2 years, Akron was like a sexy underdog pick, and they got blown out both times. So you're thinking, like, third time's a charm. It's not going to happen 3 years in a row that they're going to be a single-digit underdog and lose by 20 plus, right? And it looks like we're going that way. Now, Texas Tech is shooting 6 for 9 from three-point range. I don't know that that's going to continue. They're shooting almost 60% from the field. You got to think that they're going to cool off a little bit, but Akron they still look outclassed.
This is probably my favorite game of the night, or the first round is, and you guys are going to think I'm ridiculous, but Long Island and Arizona. It's the battle of the iced tea. Okay, which is better, Long Island, Arizona? I mean, there's way more implications involved in this game than some NCAA championship thing. Okay, big deal.
I expect something like that from Raphael, Lenny. I expect to hear something like that from Raphael. I did not expect to hear it from you. Nice.
Yeah.
Well played.
They got the best free throw advantage when opponents on a free throw line. They clap twice and they do the shark thing.
Yeah.
They got the best free throw.
Hey, it's in San Diego, California. Okay, yeah. Where else do you want to have an iced tea? I'm just saying. This is just build. This should be a game every year, once a year.
Long Island iced teas are like martinis. You can only have maybe 2.
Lightweight.
Listen, I said yesterday, one of the kind of themes yesterday, we did see a few blowouts. We saw maybe 3 blowouts, right?
Right.
One of the things I noticed yesterday was teams were having a real hard time separating, right? Like, they get up 12, 15, 16 points, and then they didn't have that next gear to turn it into a runaway. Okay, Nebraska did early. Illinois, fortunately, that was my 5-unit play, was able to late, but even they struggled a little bit. So I said coming into today, I think one of the number 1 seeds covers and wins by like 50, and one of them isn't going to. One of those 2 teams is going to win by like 19. I don't know which is which. Okay, I'm like, part of me thinks Florida, because they got embarrassed by Vanderbilt in their last game. They lost by 17 in the SEC tournament. That he might kind of give them the whip a little bit, and they might run them out of the gym. Where maybe Arizona is a little fat and happy. They played those 2 epic games in the Big 12 tournament, beating Iowa State and then beating Houston. Like, maybe they have a little bit of letdown there. So I kind of lean more towards Florida cover, Arizona not. But I didn't play either one of those games.
See, based off my genius Howard play plus 30.5 points last night, I'm on Prairie View plus 35.5 tonight. I just think it's ridiculous, that kind of points. I do believe what you just said is if out of the ones, Florida's probably the one that puts belt to ass more out of Arizona. So
I agree. I think
know,
Arizona always struggles in the first round of 64. They always struggle, just like Duke always does. I don't know why we were shocked that Siena came out and put some points on the board, which I had first half over 23.5.
Nice.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised by that game. I wasn't surprised that Duke struggled. I was surprised at how much they struggled. It's something that Craig and I have talked about often too, though. Those early tip times, right? Like that's part of what got Wisconsin. That Wisconsin game, that was like 11 a.m. local time when they tipped off from that game. Like those teams that are playing those really early games are way more susceptible to getting upset, I feel like, than those teams that play at night.
That's fair. Like, I mean, TCU tomorrow looks like getting 12 points, 11 and a half, 12 against Duke. I mean, Duke has been struggling ever since they've had injuries. And I don't know if I believe in TCU that much to keep shit close.
Who'd have thought the younger Boozer now steps up a lot? I think he's been playing better ball than the All-American first-round draft pick Boozer.
Yeah. Scott says the Miami, Ohio swim team will be showing up in Speedos for this Tennessee game. I hope they win for them. I think once this Miami, Ohio team gets back to just having fun and that monkey's off their back or that loss, I like them.
One of the guys on the site has a 8-unit play in that game. Not going to tell you the side, not going to tell you whatever, but somebody is taking a very clear claim on that. And look, you got to pick a lane, right? Like either you believe, you watch that Miami of Ohio SMU game. SMU did everything you could to give that game to Miami of Ohio on offense and defense. You got to think Tennessee watched that game and said, you know what? We're not going to play zone against a team that shoots 53 pointers. They are a better defensive team. I think Tennessee is more capable of taking advantage of Miami of Ohio's weakness on the interior. You got to wonder if Miami of Ohio has a letdown, from that situation, from that big win. On the other hand, it's still Rick Barnes. And I gave you the numbers yesterday. Rick Barnes, 5-17 against the spread in his last 22 NCAA tournament games. He's 11 for 23 against the spread in his career in NCAA tournament games. So, either way, you're kind of playing Russian roulette, whichever side you go on this game.
You want to get at that, yeah.
Scott, we know who you're on in that game.
Yeah, baby. Scott, I can't imagine. Wow, I bet you he's on Tennessee money line. Yeah, Scott. Listen, don't overinvest tonight, okay? There's other games on the board as well. Raphael, give us a free play for today's action. I know you're always good for a team total somewhere.
You know me, I love those team totals. I don't have. I do have a couple team totals. I like Iowa today. I know Robert said Big Ten kind of stinks it up when it comes to March Madness, especially in the first round. I just like the way how Iowa's, if they played their style of game, then I think they win this one. Iowa has, I think, played a lot of competitive games, especially on the road. I think Clemson, if you look at their neutral site or neutral court record and their road record, it's not the greatest. So I thought Iowa would have been bet up. I thought we would see maybe a solid 2.5, because there's still ones out there. I think Iowa, in my eyes, is the better team. So I like the Hawkeyes in this spot.
I got a free play in that game too, as a matter of fact. Player prop. Take Butta Johnson over 8.5 points in that game. Clemson, part of the reason why they're underdogs in this game is the fact that they lost their leading scorer, their big man. So somebody's going to pick up the slack for them. Butta Johnson was a transfer, mid-major scoring guy. He's kind of wired that way. The books didn't have Dylan Hunter props, but Dylan Hunter for Clemson is another guy that I'm expecting to have a big game. So if you can find any Dylan Hunter props, I like him to go over. He's a really good player, senior, guy who will pick up the slack. I'm with Raphael. I lean on Iowa here, but I don't see this as a go big situation by any stretch of the imagination. Like Brad Brownell is a really good coach, and he's going to have Clemson ready to play. And, again, Big Ten losers. Yeah,
every year it feels like they just follow. They're not a good conference to back in the tournament. They'll have one team that goes to the Final Four. That's about it. I mean,
Michigan State.
No, I told you I do not have Michigan State any bracket winning. I don't believe you. I think it's actually. You. I know. I think it's Louisville's going to give a hard time, but they'll get past Louisville, but they'll lose to. Whoever.
I'm surprised by that number too. I can tell you right now.
4.5.
I can't believe that number is only 4.5. Michigan State looked really good yesterday. Like they were one of the better teams that I saw. They were prepared. They played well from start to finish. They didn't have any lulls in that game. They really dominated and controlled it. Where Louisville was a little bit of a high wire act with them, right? How about, and you got to give a shout out to friend of the show, Griffin Murphy, for an all-time backdoor 8-unit college basketball game of the year winner with South Florida plus 4.5. Down 20 in the second half, down 10 with like 3 minutes left. Idiot for Louisville misses 2 free throws. They're up 4 with 5.1 seconds left. And
never a doubt.
Doesn't miss 1 free throw. He misses both free throws for him to cover by half a point. So great job, Griffin. Won both the 8-unit plays on the site. Won yesterday. We have 3 more today. So let's stay hot, Doc Sports.
Let's stay hot. I love it.
I will not have an 8-unit play on the board today.
You don't?
I do not. Yeah, I do not either.
I will not have an 8-unit play for the whole tournament.
I will tomorrow. I got exactly what I wanted. I got exactly what I wanted for Saturday in terms of matchup line, everything. So I'm going to shoot my shot. And also, I got to tell you, I said this yesterday on the show. I have a 7-unit daily prop play. That was probably my favorite play of the first round. Like sides, totals, anything. Like this player prop was my favorite play. And that's why it's my biggest play. Like it's the only 7-unit play that I've had in the NCAA tournament so far is a player prop. But I really.
Well, I wish I could release player props for big plays, but I know it's hard to find them, and I don't want people to complain like I can't find the state I'm in right now, Louisiana. You can't bet player prop bets. Mississippi, you can't bet player prop bets. So
I've never had a complaint about people not being able to do it.
I'm not saying we have complaints. I just feel bad. Like if I release something and someone buys it, I don't think they're going to complain, but I feel bad releasing a player prop when I know it's hard to find. I'm not saying people complaining.
Right. People should not live in Mississippi then. How about that? That's just another reason.
One of many reasons why not to.
Like I deal with this with a lot with friends from home that are in New York. They can't bet on New York teams, right?
Yeah, exactly.
A couple guys liked Hofstra, a couple guys liked Alabama today, blah, 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 blah. My friends from home are like, I can't bet it because it involves Hofstra, a New York team. So you got quirky rules all over the country. But, Docs is worldwide, baby.
Yeah, right. Internationally known. I'm just saying.
Raphael, something else I want to ask you about is, since we're here, that Alabama Hofstra game. That's something that I had circled. What is your anticipation? Like, obviously, Alabama loses its second leading scorer, not to injury, but to the pokey. Okay? Yeah. And
it happens.
You see this stuff like this has happened before. This is not unprecedented stuff in sports. And you see it go one of two ways. Alabama's either going to not be focused, not come to play, lose outright, or Nate Oates is going to have them really focused, and I think they can run Hofstra out of the gym. Do you either one of those you leaning towards? Maybe somewhere in the middle?
Was hoping the story would have moved this number lower. I do like Alabama in this game. I'm not going to lay the number, but this kid will never put a Jap basketball jersey on anymore because when you have that much cash in your car, the ATF is now involved, not just local. ATF is now involved. So, but I thought this number would go down all the way maybe 11, 10.5, and then I would maybe look at Alabama. There's still 12s out there. I was hoping the story would still be fresh on the ESPN site, and we'll still be talking about it nationwide, and we haven't. It was news for 2 days, and then it kind of fizzled out. So I'm a little bit upset that I couldn't get a better price with Alabama.
I agree. The team loses its second leading scorer. You expect the number to move 1.5 points, just on the rush of people instantly betting against them. But for me, the fact that didn't happen kind of tells you what you need to know. Like, I think Alabama rolls tonight. Today. I think they're going to come to play. I think Nate Oates is an excellent, exceptional coach. I think he's going to have this team ready. And Alabama scores, man. Like, we talked about this yesterday. Taking an 18-point scorer away from a team that averages about 93 points per game is not the same as taking an 18-point scorer away from a team that averages like 70 or 75 points a game. Like, Alabama's still going to score with or without Holloway. Like, they're not going to change how they play. They're not going to change what they do. And I just don't know that Hofstra can keep up with them. I think they'll put a lot of pressure on them by hitting threes. I know Hofstra wants to slow this game down, but again, if Alabama is focused and motivated today, I think they will be. I think this one could get a little ugly.
Yeah, if Hofstra wins or Alabama loses this game, it's not because of Holloway. It's because they're ice cold from three-point land.
Right.
It will have nothing to do with Holloway. It's because they're hitting bricks like Duke was doing in the first half yesterday. That's the only way the Pride beats the Crimson Tide today.
My 7-unit daily prop play is in this game. The play that I love, the play that I couldn't believe the number on, my favorite play of the first round is in that game.
Over under 3 points made by Alabama?
Not saying if it's points, not saying if it's
not saying
3-pointers, not saying. Use that free 60, Bob.
Right there. Raphael, go to docsports.com/free60. You can get a Robert 7-unit play in that game.
He'll tell me after the show. I don't need to pay.
I hope he does it now. I'm just kidding.
Another team I want to see, Connecticut. We talked about Florida losing in their conference tournament. Connecticut is another team that I want to see how they come out. Is Hurley going to give them the whip? Is this Connecticut team are they just not that good? You know what I mean? Furman's got some guys that can put the ball in the hole. Can they hang around, or is Hurley going to be really pissed off? Like, they didn't just lose to St. John's in Madison Square Garden. They got embarrassed last week in the Big East tournament final. So they're a team that I can see Hurley being really angry about that and giving it to his guys all week and having them ready to come out and lay a 30-point beating on Furman. So contrast that with what we talked about. Teams just had a hard time separating yesterday. Is Connecticut going to be another one of those teams that they can get up by 15 in this game? They just can't extend it to 28, which is kind of what you need to be able to do.
Yeah, we're not talking about the best game that's on the board. Or maybe not the bets, but the more intriguing game is the Johnnies in Northern Iowa. Because if Northern Iowa controls the tempo and their snail pace type of game, boy, if the Johnnies don't score 65 points or more, I can see Northern Iowa winning this game because Northern Iowa is going to win. They're like the UVA 10 years ago, but worse. I just love the way Northern Iowa plays the game. And if they play their style, the Johnnies are going to be in a world of hurt, and we can see them bounce. It's one of the biggest popular dog plays on the betting board, Northern Iowa. That's what scared me not playing it because Joe Public's all over on this one. But I just want to see who controls the pace right away because I think that controls the pace for the whole game.
Yeah, another team that won their conference tournament basically on their home court, primed for a letdown, kind of like we saw maybe at a Duke yesterday, right? I agree with you, Raphael. I have seeding-based systems. I have a historical trend system, situational systems. I have a whole set of about 50 NCAA tournament systems that I use and grade teams on. Northern Iowa actually graded out the highest for all of my systems. They were a +7 on here. I didn't use them today. Last year,
they
went
by double digits.
Graded out 9.5. The team that hit the most systems, they hit on almost 20% of the system, and they lost by 30 last year. So just because they grade up, but I didn't use it. I do by the way, if you want another player prop, Ozzie Sellers, a guard for St. John's, transferred from Stanford. I like him to go over 9.5 points. He's a senior, handles the ball a lot. I think he will be involved. Anybody that followed me this year knows that I used Northern Iowa a lot this year. That I have been on them, but I'm with you. I just couldn't pull the trigger on such a public situation in such kind of an obvious situation. I felt like.
I like that. Let's move to the NBA because we want to get out of here shortly so we can get back to the games on hand. Heartbreaking news for my Pistons. I mean, they tried to kill Cade Cunningham in Washington. Collapsed lung. Took a knee to the side. He's out. I would imagine the remainder of the year.
No.
He'll be back. No, he'll be back for playoffs. He's
out. Remainder of the regular.
Remainder of regular. That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Because I'm hearing no cracked ribs or broke anything like that. Just the lung situation. So just makes it difficult. That's a hell of an injury to come back from because it's nothing you can really rehab.
Yeah, but the key is no cracked ribs. When I collapsed my lung, I had 2 broken ribs.
And
so it takes a lot longer when you have broken ribs and a collapsed lung. The only thing that could be hurting him a little bit more, he's a guard that likes to run around. He's not a center. He's not an offensive lineman that's not going to have to chug back to back. He's a point guard that runs around a lot, gets picked at screens, stuff like that. And when I was fully, it took me a month and a half to really feel back to normal running around when I had my collapse lung. But at the same time, I had 2 broken ribs. I didn't have. So I think he comes back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. Thoughts on the NBA tonight?
Take the over in that game.
Yeah.
In that Pistons Golden State game?
Yeah. 217 and a half. I literally just bet it while we were talking about it. I had forgotten to put that down. So much focus on college. But take the over in that game. No Kate Cunningham. They're playing at home. You know that they're going to rally. They got some other guys that can put the ball in the basket. And, the Warriors are kind of up and down. So, really like the over in that one. Also, Lenny, tonight, our system, okay? Celtics have gone over and back.
Yeah, we're back to that. I have that wrote down.
They've gone over in back-to-back games. They've only gone over in 3 straight games one time this year. They went over 4 in a row. There's something like 23-5 or 5-23 against the total of the game after they go over. So look at them for maybe going under tonight in Memphis.
Yeah. There's a few.
I like the Portland, Minnesota total. Granted, it's already moved 4 points. It opened up at 229. Minnesota, they're starting to realize, hey, if we want to climb the ranks in the Western Conference or maybe win in the playoffs, we got to score. Defense ain't going to do it anymore in this NBA, especially coming out of the Western Conference. So their points have been climbing up. You have a great dance partner in Portland who loves to shoot the 3 ball. So if they can get hot, they'll be a great dance partner to get the over in. Wait to see if it comes down or maybe live bet this, but I think it's a great overplay.
I mean, we should just be on Atlanta, right? Like we should be on Atlanta on spec, right? Like they're the hottest team in the NBA. Yeah, Houston does not look good at all right now. It's potentially a good spot. I want to see how Toronto plays with Denver. Just one of those weird, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. These 2 teams don't really know each other, play each other very much. Is Denver going to hit the gas on them? They've been really up and down. They lost outright their last game at Memphis as like a 14-point favorite. They've been streaky. That Portland game, like Portland is a team I kind of like. I think like they're getting healthy at the right time. They're kind of sneaky good. And can they win this game? Like this is a team when we get closer to the playoff time in those play-in games, I might be on as a big dog if they can make it into the full field, because I think they're a little bit undervalued. They played shorthanded so much of this year that when they're fully healthy, they got a lot of options. They got a lot of different guys that can score the basketball.
Interesting. This will surprise both of you. I have 0 NHL bets today.
Wow.
You boys locked in on some college basketball right now. I'm like Robert Fringo Jr. right now. I'm locked in. I'm in the tall grass. I ain't got time for no other shit. Stop you. I appreciate you wanting to talk about NFL football. We can do that whenever, but I can't do that.
April.
Locked in. I'm just saying.
UFL and CFL. I'd rather talk about them 2 than the NFL.
You never want to talk about the NFL. Let's be honest. You hate the NFL. You never want to talk about it. All right, let's get us out of here, Lenny. I got some basketball to watch. I got some drinks to make.
Yes. Don't forget about that 360. Jump on that. If you are not drinking at noon during March Madness, what are you doing? Good luck unless you're against this. Check out that
8-unit game of the year tomorrow. 8-unit game of the year tomorrow. Don't forget about the 8-unit game of the year.
Check that out. Use that $60 for that. You can use that, split it up, get Raphael's plays as well. Premium
7
plays
unit
over
today
at the website. 6 unit today. DocSports.com.
No, 7. Why are you dropping my plays? Why are you dropping my plays all of a sudden?
You know what? Make it an 8. Reach down there and grab the
BPA board.
It's a 7.5 unit play. That's what it is, folks. DocSports.com/free60. Check it out where you get Doc's Daily. Will be back tomorrow, Saturday. Griffin and myself, 11 a.m. Eastern. Let's hope he's still. After that 8-unit last night, let's hope he's still around. I don't know what he's doing. He hasn't returned my call. He's probably still sleeping. Good luck unless you're against this.